Domestic violence, man.
Yes,
And you know about this domestic violence shit, man. It's crazy because
it
it
is
goes on both
crazy.
parts, not just the man, because 90% of the time it be the man, but it goes on both parts. So I say it's 50-50.
It's not 50-50. Not to me. In most cases, it's the man. Now they do have a small percentage of women that commits domestic violence. I'm saying a non-feminine woman, like I guess what y'all call the strong woman.
Sweep it up like a broom, the elephants in the room. Feeling like MJ, I walk it out on the moon. These boys faster than Zoom, I'm floating like a balloon. From the womb to the tomb, I'm repping the green room. Yeah.
What up, what up, what up, world? Welcome to the Green Room with Gippie Lee, and I'm your host who does the moose, Gipstar, aka Gippie, aka Muju, aka Cocky Billboard, aka you can call me whatever you want, but just don't call me Collect. I got my co-host in here, you know what I'm saying, you dig? GlowMiller, the Heidi, aka CEO of Garden's Body. What's up, baby?
What's up, baby? Getting ready to enjoy this show with you on our hot topic.
That's what's up. So what's up with you? How your day been going? How your week been going? How your month been going? How your year been going?
My day been going great. My month been going great, and my year is definitely great. Everything's
Yes,
up.
yes. I like the first of all, I really like to appreciate you from joining my show. You know what I'm saying? Because you know it's kind of like hard to, kind of just do this podcast shit by yourself. You can't debate with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But you can debate with the other because everybody have their opinion.
right.
Facts are gonna be stated.
Facts,
Opinions gonna be stated.
definitely on
But
your part.
we gonna make it.
We gonna make it. We
We
gonna
gonna
make
make
it.
it. Yes, indeed.
Yes,
Episode 15.
yes. Our third
Episode
show
15.
together.
Our third show together, and this
Yes,
episode 15.
yes.
Before we do anything, y'all, before we do anything, make sure y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel, Gipstar
Definitely.
ENT, GIPPSTARENT. And today's show, episode 15, is sponsored by Garden's Body. Ladies, like I said before, go get your waist trainers, go get your shapers, go get your thigh highs. Located in the Oakwood Shopping Mall. Man, I'm going to tell y'all once, I'm going to tell y'all twice, 3 times, 4 times, and I'm going to keep saying it till the number infinity. Ladies, if you got curves and you hot, Garden's
Garden's
Body
body
is
is
the
the
spot.
spot. Let's go.
Let's go with it, you dig?
Yes.
I just love when I just wait for you to just jump
To
in
jump
with
in,
yeah
that's
with the
my
slogan.
favorite. That's
I just
my
like the way
favorite
I just
slogan.
love doing that with you. You know the good chemistry,
Yes.
great chemistry. Wardrobe provided by Tommy Hilfiger. Go get your garments and accessories located at any Tommy Hilfiger outlet located in the country. Better yet, the world. Man, this has been a crazy week. Every week is a crazy week.
Yes, it's been a crazy weekend, and everything is stemming from domestic violence. So that's gonna be our topic today.
Domestic violence, man.
Yes,
And you know about this domestic violence shit, man. It's crazy because
it
it
is
goes on both
crazy.
parts, not just the man, because 90% of the time it be the man, but it goes on both parts. So I say it's 50-50.
It's not 50-50. Not to me. In most cases, it's the man. Now they do have a small percentage of women that commits domestic violence. I'm saying a non-feminine woman, like I guess what y'all call the strong woman.
All right, what about the percentage of the woman provoking the man? That's a strong percentage.
Yes, but the man should have enough willpower to not be provoked. I feel
True,
on both ends.
true,
On both ends, a man
true,
could outpower a woman any day.
true.
Any day, a woman would never win against a man.
But I'm saying like this. I'm saying like this. Where we from, this shit kind of crazy. I don't understand. Sometimes a woman don't really see that in a man as he being a domestic abuser because his past fouled him. Everybody past fouled him. Like down here,
Hmm.
every female want a hot nigga.
Right.
They want a hot nigga no matter what he doing. If he from hustling, from jacking, Murder, especially murder. Real shit. If a motherfucker bust a head down here, the women gonna flock. And if the women flock, you know what I'm saying, you only have in your mind thinking he can be a abuser.
They're not thinking of that at the moment because most people who commit those type of crimes are charismatic. If I'm saying it right, they give a lot of niceness and charisma
But that's
and
how that shit start though.
swag.
But that's how that shit start. Like when it
Right.
first start, when you first start fucking around, the first couple of months is always good. It's always good until you really know the real them.
Yes, everybody has their best foot forward when you first get into a relationship.
The charming come out,
The
the
charming,
the
the gentleman,
the tricking.
the tricking. And I think the tricking part is what provokes them. They get so mad that they gave you everything and that they feel like because you get everything, you should listen to their every word and they have no opinion and they have no voice.
But what about the woman with the spitefulness?
Yeah, a woman with the spitefulness. I feel like a woman gets spiteful when they're provoked by a man.
Again, I said it
Provoked
first.
with cheating.
Again. But again, when I start saying about the domestic abuse, you said most of the time it's the man. But I say most of the time it can be the man can be provoked. And that's what I mean by spitefulness.
Right. The man can be provoked, but a man also should know if he punch a woman, that woman ain't gonna hit hard as him.
I still
That's
see
crazy.
I still see if a man punch a woman, he a weak motherfucker.
Right. Definitely.
Because and I'm gonna bring it with me and you. I'm gonna bring it with me and you. I just can't see myself laying a scratch on you.
I don't see it either.
And this coming from the heart. This ain't coming from my
Right.
mouth.
Because I'm a sweetie, of course.
Oh, man,
I
not
am
just a
the
sweetie.
sweetest person to be with. I
That's
know
true.
this.
That's
I'm
true.
very
Not just that. Not just that.
nurturing.
Is it's the nurturing part. It's the beauty. It's it's the how can I say the this just the chemistry of it that we have.
Right. The compromising.
And that's what I really want to see, the compromising of it, you know what I'm saying? Just a good connection. And we probably have ups and downs.
Not no
You did. I'm just
I
saying
wouldn't
we
call it. We had a few spats. That's it. Not no
yeah,
ups and downs
yeah, that's
like
what I'm
you.
saying. Like, but I wouldn't take it that far.
Right.
And the reason why I wouldn't take it that far with you is because
Because I gotta have my way.
and not just that you have
Most
to
you
not that you
gonna let
just
me
have to
have my
have your
way.
way. It's like me to me and put the camera on me. Put the camera on me. I feel like this. Me not putting my hands on you because you deserve better than that.
True.
And that's just not going for just you. That's just going for
Any woman.
all women. Like you
Right.
deserve better than a punch in the fucking face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'd rather live there and tell you something
But
before I swing.
right. But can you agree with me that most men who commit domestic violence is because they cheating? They come in a rage and try to find any little thing to get out the door and go do what they want to do. So they pick these little spats that end up big.
But if they do pick the space that's big, it's like I don't see
And when a woman find out that they're cheating, then that's gonna make them call the police, like in a massacre case. Let's get into that clip.
all right, before we get into that clip right there, the Massey case, and you just brought up an interesting point.
Right.
Now, he said some shit about the same woman he's supposed to have the charge on. She helped him during the escape, right?
Yes, they actually arrested her, and she also signed the affidavit saying that he didn't commit rape
Right.
and that he did not beat her.
All right. Now let's take it to that. Now, you don't think they had episodes before? About like,
They stated they did.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just say like if he was walking out the door, if Antoine was Massey was walking out the door, and she came behind him, you know what I'm saying? Putting his fucking putting her fucking hands on her.
From what the auntie stated, and one of
Sometimes the
her,
auntie wasn't there in the household when they had a misunderstanding. So
right,
she
but
just
from
going
her,
off with the fuck she seen. You know what I'm saying? Not what she be, what she saying to me. The auntie, what the auntie saying.
well, she's
Now you trying
saying
to get attention.
she's saying it was both ways. She's saying that they would fight and make up, fight to make up.
But
Like
that's my
some.
point. That's my point. That's my
That's
point
what
right there. It's
that's what
like,
she stated, and everything is allegedly because we don't even know
all
if the
right,
fights
you don't think
really
they had
went down.
episodes
In
of
my
domestics
opinion,
of domestic violence on both parts? She laying up like, just say like, she know one of his secrets. Just say she know one of his secrets. All right, bitch, I'ma call the police. Blase, blase said you did this and said you did this, said you did. Pop.
right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
that's usually how I go. But a woman who's in a domestic relationship, they don't, and oftentimes they feel sympathy for their abuser. In most cases, they feel sympathy for their abuser. They feel like they don't have no way out, or either the abuser threaten their family members, and threaten them if they leave. They also have this weird attachment to them that with help and counseling, you have to get help and counseling to be able to get over that obstacle.
That's crazy though. And let me tell you why that's crazy. You did. Before we get into that, let's go into the clip of Antoine Massey saying the same girl that allegedly he in jail for helped him escape. Let's go into that audio.
Massive. I'm one of the ones that was let out of GC. What I want to talk about today as far as why I was in Orleans Parish jail. I was in custody for almost 8 months. All right, 6 months, something like that. I was in there for theft of a motor vehicle and domestic abuse involving strangulation. That's what I was in Orleans Parish for. Okay, she did this, right? Saying all allegations against me is false. And she even saying that, she let us know the truth that I never did this to her. I never hit her. I was nowhere around her. Nothing. She got mad and thought that I was dealing with another woman. That's why she did what she did to me. You know what I'm saying? Another thing too, once I got into Orleans Parish, I was there for like 1 month or something like that. Okay, a lot went on as that time progressed. Okay, if you was an innocent person and you know the judges and you know that this person is saying that all the charges that you're on that you did not do, why was you still in jail? Louisiana have the highest incarceration rate in the world.
Wow,
Exactly what I was saying.
that's
Yes,
big.
it is big because if she helped him escape and she signed the affidavit, like he said, he feel like he's in jail for a crime he didn't commit. But now you also have to get your day in court to prove, that you didn't commit these crimes. Because remember, in Louisiana, the state sometimes pick up domestic
The
violence
state
cases
pick
and
up the
fight it,
domestic
even
violence
if the
cases,
person drop it.
even if they drop the case, the state picks that up. But back to like what I was saying on the first time and the second time. You said that the woman have sympathy for the abuser, right?
Yeah, the abuser going the abuse. This is what the abuser gonna do. The abuser is gonna apologize and say he's not gonna do it no more, and then they're gonna love bomb you, and then for a little while you're gonna think that everything's okay, and then again he gonna fly in a rage. But they tell you at the women abuse center that if it keeps going on with physical altercations, one of you all have the possibility of not making it, meaning one person is going to kill the other if you don't get out. And then also, some women have to be relocated out of state to get away from their abuser because when they do get out, the abuser stalks them.
All right, all right, all right, all right. I can dig that.
Right.
And I can agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But in their situation,
Right.
it sounded like the bitch kept coming back. The bitch kept coming back, binding him out. The auntie even said it. And before we get to that audio with the auntie saying that, let me, it's like, first of all, something, what you said right there, that is dick talk. Straight up, you know what I'm saying? That is dick talk. You know what I'm saying? That is dick talk. And when I say about dick talk, you know what I'm saying? First of all, if y'all went through these episodes, this if you had a long relationship with this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
2, 3 years, 4, 5 years into this shit.
Right.
You probably experienced domestic abuse at least once or twice out of that year. Even though he had the reputation that these women like before you met him, what make you think he's so fucking charming to you? And when he did it again and again and again, when it's gonna stop with the woman saying it's time to let go, it's time to get the fuck?
It's gonna dawn on the
because that
woman
is something
one day.
serious, though.
Right.
First of all, that's something serious to us men, being a duck ass motherfucker. The reason why I'm saying being a duck ass motherfucker is because, like, if a bitch lay up there and call the police on me, saying, not you know, bitch, I'm just saying in general.
Mm-hmm.
If a female called the police on me in a rape allegation, man, I'm not even, bitch, I don't even need your help no more. I'm not even trying to be around you. I'm not even trying to fuck with you no more.
Right, but in his mind, he thinking that, well, I gotta get her to admit that this is a lie, because he has no he has no lawyer, he has nobody,
no representation of himself.
Right.
I understand
That's why
that.
he needed her to write that affidavit, and he needed her to state the truth.
Right, understand that, but like, when you go back to the same female that called the police on you, and this is a question I want to ask you. Now, you think with all the domestic situation, from the fighting and calling the police, binding out of jail and all this shit there, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Out of all that situation, and the dude go back, you think that dude got bread? Or he's a broke ass nigga?
Oh, whether they have bread or not.
No, do he have bread?
Do he have bread?
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably do.
Because sometimes, I ain't gonna lie to you, sometimes the guy who has money, and I'm speaking on real niggas. I ain't speaking on no pussy whoop cats, you know what I'm saying? I ain't speaking on that.
Right, but
I'm not speaking on that.
It doesn't matter about the money. Usually the man has the money and using the money to control a woman and keep the woman there.
Yeah.
But remember one time we was discussing this and you told me the man don't want to let nothing go. He always want to gain.
But no, just the thing about it. If the man have the money,
right,
and he don't want to go of the relationship of the woman, you know, she's confused and brainwashed because of the money, you know what I'm saying? She ain't got nothing to do and all that, but
that's the same what happened with Cassie.
No, but if the shoe was on the other foot, if the guy was broke, you know what I'm saying? If the guy was broke,
would he leave?
He's not gonna leave. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, the dude with the money,
all right,
he really ain't gonna. She's not really gonna call the police. A person.
Oh yeah,
she's not gonna call the police. So sometimes the police ain't gonna get involved until she's really, really tired of it.
Right, in the Cassie case.
Yeah. Now, in his case, you know what I'm saying? He a young dude, you know what I'm saying? He ain't got no bread like that, you dig? I don't know what he had and all that, you know what I'm saying? But evidently he ain't have no bread if he can't get represented with a lawyer, or his family can't represent him with no lawyer on the shit you did. This before the escape. Before the escape.
Right, because he was in jail. They probably
he was already sitting in jail.
Yeah, he was already sitting in jail.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
One of the reasons.
But I'm just speaking on in general style with guys who beat on a girl and you going to jail with no money.
Right, because they beat on took. Like, oftentimes you leave the woman with the money and the woman spend the money. You don't know what kind of relationship that they had. And everything we're saying is alleged.
I know this dude, like, he had a little change, right?
Right.
He had a little change. And probably still do got a little change. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when he came home from jail, it seemed like him being broke didn't phase him because it didn't seem like he was broke. But when he came home from jail with the little money he had, he didn't want to fuck with that person no more.
Right, rightfully
He didn't
so.
want to fuck with that person.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
after
saying?
somebody put you in jail for
Yeah,
domestic violence and y'all in a turmoil relationship, you should let that person go. Go about their business. But the problem is, like you told me before, the man don't want to see the woman do better with the other person because the world gonna know he was the problem.
that's true. That's true.
That's it.
But if like these on these cases here, if a female broke called the police on you, evidently the dude ain't coming back to you. But if she got a little bread and you broke, you ain't really got nobody to turn to. So you're gonna play the I'm sorry game, like you said, or I ain't gonna never do it no more and shit like this. I know a few dudes who got a little money and they in the mojo boat. Once you call the police, it's never be no more us.
Right, but you shouldn't be beating that person from the beginning. So it never was y'all. A person, if a man beats on a woman, no way in the world he loves you. Because a person that really love you ain't gonna want to see, is not gonna want to see you hurt.
I can't see you with a
But
busted nose.
it takes.
I can't see you with a black eye. I can't see you with a busted lip. Nah,
Thank you, honey. That's why I love you.
nah, I love you more,
I
but
can't see myself with that. I
nah,
can't see
because
myself.
yeah, because behind that pretty face, you ain't no punk motherfucker. I know that. You ain't no punk
Baby,
mother.
I'm a child of God.
Yeah, we all be a
Yes,
child of
I
God, but
live a
the,
humble
the,
life.
the child of God had angels that slayed people.
Mm-mm, no, baby. I'm a child of God.
I
I would
understand
never
that.
fight another person.
Yeah,
No.
what I'm saying is like, um, back to the domestic shit is like, and I'm not on the men's side of you hitting the female. I'm on the men's side of the spiteful women that
Yeah, but
be on some dumb shit.
the men bring out the spitefulness in a woman because let me tell you, when you sweep a woman off their feet and you tell them I love you, I want to be with you, and then you having sex with this woman every day and you turn around and betray this woman and go sleep with somebody else and you telling that other woman you love her, you want to be with her, and you torn within the lies that you tell between the two, and you come and lay in the bed with me, I'm sleeping with the enemy and I didn't even know. That's what makes the women angry. That's what makes them very angry, that they know that that person laying next to them, it don't love them once they find out they're being cheated on.
But I don't see a person
But they don't
shouldn't
know
put their
how to
hands
leave
on you. I don't see
or
a
let
person
go.
should put their hands on you behind that. You know,
Yes, but you're not like other men. Some men come from a home where they previously saw domestic violence. That's what I'm saying about the case of him seeing his daddy get killed, allegedly, and all the trauma. Trauma plays a big role in a person's life. Now, I have seen a few men who have came past the domestic violence
yes.
stage and have changed their lives because the woman nurtured them and took them to counseling and try to get out their past wounds so they could understand what they're doing or saw previously was wrong and they could understand how the other person feel.
Now I can agree with you on the trauma,
Right.
but I can agree
Trauma
with
plays a
you.
big
But
part.
I can disagree with you on the trauma that plays a big role in young black men's life because that's bullshit. You know, seeing his daddy getting killed in front of him, that shouldn't turn him into a life of crime. Cause hold up, let me finish. Hold up. Like I told you before, Kawhi Leonard, one of the biggest basketball stars in the NBA. Matter of fact, the world.
Right.
His daddy got killed in front of him. And no matter if he got executed, it don't matter if he got accidentally, he got killed in front of him. And that brought trauma to him. But he came out that shit and became a successful basketball player. So that's bullshit about the kids laying up there getting seeing their parents get killed and you going into a life of crime. You still make your right from wrong choices.
Yes, you do still make your right for wrong choices, but I think an environment plays a role. Your parents, the nurturing part of your parents play a role, and how you deal with trauma from the beginning. Each person deals with trauma in a different way.
I understand that. I don't think Kawhi Leonard was in no fucking suburbs. He was in a bad environment, Compton. He was in a bad environment. It's still no excuse.
That's what I'm saying. It's
You
all
know
genetics too. Now,
it
genetics plays a part in that. I'm saying that some people handle trauma in a different way.
exactly.
If a picture of me and all I saw growing up was trauma. Okay, let me take growing up in a project. If you live in a project your whole life, right?
Right,
And the only thing you see is people making babies, and you only know what's in the project. Mind you, you never went outside the project. You don't know about houses. You don't know about nothing. You only know what's inside the project. You only know ghetto superstars. You only know what goes on day to day in a project. People are subject to their environment. So growing up in that kind of environment plays a role on your education because you're going to the same schools within your environment, right?
right,
All that plays a role. So if I was a child who went to boarding school and I grew up in a boarding school environment where they groomed me
right,
into being the president's daughter. They groom me to being a congresswoman.
right.
I'm gonna go that path because all the people around me is successful lawyers, doctors. All the people around me in the hood is selling drugs. You
But
know,
I'm gonna put you in that perspective right there, cause I know you, and I've been knowing you for a long time.
right?
Now
Correct.
you are from the projects.
I am,
I ain't from the projects. We just so happen to move out the projects at a young age. You
but
know,
not me,
you
not
did.
yet.
I know,
17.
and not only at the same time by me knowing you as we was young coming up, you had a father and a mother in the project. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I
That did
had
not
two.
subject you and your siblings, because I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't see now out of all the siblings that you have, your brothers and your sisters. I don't see
All
now.
successful.
I do
Right.
not see now one fucked up person. And shout out to my wife family because y'all all amazing people to me. Straight up, y'all all amazing people. But at the same time, anyway, you stay in the project, especially your little brother stayed in the project.
Right.
I can't lay up there and name now one bad story about y'all. Every time I see somebody in a project, when I go in the project, they'll ask about you or your family. Nothing, never bad.
Right.
So by
But
you
we had
saying that, understanding
opportunities.
that, but you seen shootings, heard shootings. You probably seen drug dealing, and they won't be around and with the other way. You just seen all this. But that did not subject you or your family to be a part of that. Now maybe love probably did, but at the same time, we all can break out of that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like my partner Lance Lewis.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Lance Lewis out the Fisher Project. You know what I'm saying? He made it to the NFL. And by when he made it to the NFL from Landry, that's unbelievable to me. Because the school we went to, not the new Landry, the school we went to,
Right. But
you
we
know,
was fortunate enough to
yeah,
have outside influences. Like my daddy, he's a veteran.
right,
My mama, she worked her lifetime. She worked her whole life.
right,
My daddy took care of my mama. My mama ain't never had to want for nothing. We grew up in a household where we had a mother and father, but most people in the projects didn't have a mother and
Now, was
father.
there domestic violence in your household?
No, there
See,
wasn't
and that's
domestic.
another thing, though. You didn't have to see no domestic violence with your mom and your daddy, and you had a mom and a dad.
Right, but some people didn't. But like you said, outside influences is gonna play a role. I didn't know no better until I ventured out the project though.
Right,
To after 15, 16 years old. You
right.
see. So I had to be taught something different. That's what I'm saying. Have these people had the opportunity to be taught something different because we all made mistakes in our childhood. Now it depends on what type of mistakes you made that follows you for the rest of your life, which is from the juvenile jail to the big jail.
Yeah.
You see, but you have to have somebody who intervened. Everybody made mistakes in that environment.
We all can make 1,000 mistakes. We all can make 1,000 mistakes, right?
Right.
But it's crazy when we make the same mistake 1,000 times. We all can make 1,000 mistakes. But when
Right.
you start making that same mistake 1,000 times, that's just like with domestic violence.
Mhm.
A person lay up there and slapped you. You forgave him. He forgave you. He's saying he's sorry. You forgave him because that's not like him to put his hands on you. You know what I'm saying? What made him put his hands on you? And that's not the monster that came out. You ain't never seen that. So like when he did that the first, it's a mistake. But when he do it again and
Oh, it
again
always get
and
worse.
again and
It
again and
always
again
get
and again,
worse.
you just
You
can't really
need an
make that out of a
intervention.
mistake.
Right. It always get worse. Worse.
So
New
so
Orleans is facing a domestic violence epidemic.
that what you think?
I really do know that. Yes.
So in the percentage of a domestic violence epidemic, you got to be the blessed ones that you're not in that motherfucker. You know what I'm
Yes, they got a
saying?
lot of blessed people, a lot of good couples, but it's happening more often than it's put on the news.
Oh yes, yes, yes. And then when they do get put on the news, the
It's
worst
it
happen.
right,
That's just
right.
like the
The
dude
worst
that
happen.
that burnt up his fucking children.
Right,
That was crazy.
right.
That was
So tell
crazy.
me this: once they catch Antoine Massey, do you think that they're gonna let him go on the rape and domestic violence charges that initially got him in jail?
Hell no. That shit still gonna stick. And plus the charges they gonna add on to his ass. Hell no. That still gotta be prosecuted.
Okay, and do you think that they let him out of prison, or you think
I
that
don't
they
care
work out?
if they come up with $1 million. They is not gonna release him. Ain't no
Right,
bond. And then like with Derrick Groves, he was already a convicted killer.
right,
So ain't no such thing as a bond with him.
right. He was already getting ready to go
And then
upstate.
they had this guy, what his name was, Seven Wall Shorty.
Yeah, he advised Massey to turn himself in with him.
Bullshit. I seen the video and I couldn't really pull up the audio with that, but let me ask you something. You think that was a setup he was doing?
No, I don't think he was setting him up. I think that may have been his friend. And each person who's telling him to come forward and turn himself in, they want to get that $50,000 because now it's $50,000 each person. But they're saying they might as well get it and help him. Why is he in jail with some of the money? That's what their mind is thinking. Like you could let me get the $50,000 and then I help you
Yeah, but
while you in
he
jail.
came on and said something about some powerful people called him. That what just got me curious right there. You know what I'm saying? You dig? I don't give a fuck who led up there and see this.
Well,
I'm just saying though, like he said he had some powerful people called him. Out of the blue now. Why
well,
would powerful people just call him?
because they probably know that he was close to him, just like the auntie said that the police showed up at her door in Atlanta, and she said that she had talked to him, and advised him to turn himself in. And the police went to her house, and she said that she told the police everything.
Yeah,
So, what would that little tip get her the $50,000?
fucking right. You know what I'm saying? Because basically, and the reason why they called her, because she got on social media and pleaded out. That's the attention she got for the people to call her. If she would have never did that shit, man, we would have never known about this lady, you know. And let's go to the audio about Antoine Massey saying that the people contacted her saying about his whereabouts or whatever.
Have you been forthcoming with authorities about what you know about where your nephew is or who might be helping him? Yes, I had some officers actually meet me today here at my home, asking me a few questions because they seen some of my videos that I had recently put out, especially the last one where I told Antoine, excuse me, myself that I saw the video and for him to turn himself in. So I guess the authorities here in Atlanta picked up on that video and wanted to come here and ask me a few questions. And I was very cooperative with them.
What you think about that?
Wow, she made it to CNN, national news.
CNN.
National news. National news.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So like, if the first time she got on social media and
Right.
was saying about, well, she know that Antoine Massey is a problem child. He know right from wrong, and blase this, blase that. Of course, all these people is gonna contact you to live there and hear about this situation. You know what I'm saying? Not
Right.
your story, but this situation. And all of a sudden, she laid up there and said about her son. Or the people told her about the son being in there, and she explained about the son, even though they wasn't on the same tier. But she just had to throw the son in there, or somebody had to just throw the son in there just to live there. What the fuck that got to do with him turning himself in?
Yes. Yes. They wanted to know that he knew about the break-in, the breaking out of jail. I don't know. That whole story seems fishy to me. That little hole in the wall, and some of those people look not big enough to fit through that little hole. And when they showed them running, looked like they was going out the front door.
Nah, it looked like it was a back of like a docks.
Okay.
Like
Right.
after that, it ain't seen like they just seen all of them just running from a
Hmm.
docks way. They ain't just seen them getting out of a hole and all that. But
Oh, but they had to travel through
and
that
just
hole
another
to get
thing
to the docks.
though, why would the dude say the maintenance man is lying? Because I really believe that you
Well,
can't have a maintenance man around you without a deputy. I really
yeah,
believe
you
that.
need a deputy. I believe that. And I believe that him coming out and talking about the situation actually humanized him. It gave him a voice. And now the whole world is waiting
Understand that.
for to hear from him again.
Remember what he said about the shank?
Yeah, he said he didn't threaten anybody,
But
but
the maintenance man said he threatened him with a shank, right?
I think that story was changed and he said he didn't feel threatened.
But why
He
didn't fault
had
the
it.
shank? Or Antoine Massey took the shank with him.
I just don't think that maintenance man would just commit a crime like that. That boy ain't had no criminal record. He wasn't like that in school. No, he's a nerd. Like they say, he's a nerd, and he's taking a fall for something that he really ain't had
Let me tell
nothing
you
to do
about these
with.
nerds and shit.
They gave that boy a work order
Let me tell you about
to
these
cut that
nerds and shit.
water off.
These nerds is sneaky as a motherfucker. These
Well,
nerds is sneaky.
I just
A
don't
lot of these
believe
nerds
that.
get away with
I'm with
things
the
until they get caught. A lot of
That's
nerds
your
get
take.
away with things until they get caught.
That's your take, but I believe that I think he's gonna get off. The nerd is gonna get off. He's gonna walk free, and I think that old lady should get off. I don't think she really knew that she was sending that she really knew that sending him money would get her arrested.
All that's part of
But
harboring a
the
fugitive.
right,
Helping,
but the rest
helping,
of them,
helping them. All that's part of harboring a fugitive. From sending them money, from sending them food, from you know, even trying to help them get away. All that's gonna be a part of helping a fugitive. If you helping a fugitive, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna live there either you're gonna do this or we're gonna bring your ass to jail from doing this.
okay, they having a parlay out. So who you think will get caught first, Derek or Massey?
I think Massey gonna turn himself in. I think they're gonna have to kill Derrick Rose. They ain't gonna they gotta take him. They ain't gonna take him alive. He's saying fuck that.
Y'all comment below and let us know what y'all think the outcome of the Massey Derek jailbreak, the last two on the run, is gonna be.
Yes, man. Comment on my Facebook channel, Mojo Thompson, excuse me, on my Instagram channel, Gipstar 1021. And damn, back to this domestic violence shit, you know. I really never had experience with domestic violence because I was the type to walk away.
Right, a lover boy.
Not just a lover boy, because I had to like one day, me and my daughter mama, we wasn't together. And she was in her fiasco. So all of a sudden I turned around and she hit me so hard to my partners was across the street.
Right.
They heard it and went ooh at the same time. You know when somebody hits you
Yeah,
so
but
hard.
you're supposed to walk away because a woman can't take the licks of a man.
Now I did walk away, and when I did walk away, another one came. Bam. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you should have called the popos.
Nah, so when I
Just
turned
like they would have
around,
called the popos on you.
nah, not only that though, the reason why I didn't hit her because I'm not no woman. I don't hit women, but my baby was in the car, and she was like about 6 months at the time, and that's when
Right.
me and you was dealing.
Right.
You know, and I just didn't I can't show that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I already know what time of day it is.
Right.
You can hit me, but as soon as I hit you, I'm going to call the police,
Right.
and both of us going to
that's it.
jail.
You're both gonna go.
Both going to jail, and is that worth calling the money? I mean,
No.
is that worth the money? And don't you know a little chick that was out there that day? A little chick that was out there was saying that if you give me $50, I would handle that for you. Bitch, please. If you felt that play, why you didn't do it for free? But at the same time, why would I want to give you $50 to hurt my child mother?
Right.
And at the same time, what if she would have hurt you? Who gonna take care of your children if she hurt you?
Right.
That's why you got to stay out my business.
Right.
You know, that ain't your business. You did. Or you was looking for a hustle. You did. Why would I want to pay you $50 to put your hands on my fucking daughter, mama, if you felt played?
That's called a higher hit. Both of y'all was going to jail.
Nah, I wasn't with all that, you know. But that's crazy though.
All right.
That's real
So
crazy.
all in all, domestic violence could go two ways. But at the end of the day, to escape domestic violence, you have to leave. You have to plan your exit. And the way that you plan an exit is you go for help. You go for help. There's an underground house here in New Orleans where you could go for help. They let you stay there. They help you find a job. They watch your kids, all of that. And if you use that help, you're going to be able to grasp what you've been through and you're going to be able to understand more how to not get yourself in those types of relationships and
Right.
what you need to change about yourself. And then you learn from that and you grow from there. So at the end of this podcast, you're going to see the domestic hotline phone number where you could call and get help. Someone who you could talk to before it's too late. Because on a serious note, domestic violence relationships can end in death. One person one day can snap and they thinking, oh, you're gonna be all right, and you hit your head and you never get up. So find help, find somebody to tell, and make your way out of there. We love y'all.
Man, stop putting your fucking hands on them fucking girls. And women, stop putting your fucking hands on them men. Both ways. Straight up. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? I just can't see myself in a situation of putting my hands on a woman. But at the same time, it's just certain times I just can't jump. If I see a domestic situation, I can't get in it.
Right, because sometimes other people get hurt in the midst of trying to stop a domestic violence. Like
I
I
know.
forget what state that was, but this woman, she ran by the man who killed his wife. He ran next door and he killed the lady because she didn't want to hide him.
Nah, I got
Like
a
you're
better.
endangering a lot of people.
Nah, I got a better story. I got a real life story that happened to me. This is like a year after Katrina, right? So
Right.
we out of town in Lafayette. So my cousin had this boyfriend,
Hmm.
and like I ain't really know this cat like that and shit. Like so, then they're arguing. So she wanted him to leave,
Right.
and he just didn't leave. So
Right.
she grabbed a stick.
Hmm.
When she grabbed the stick, soon as she grabbed the stick, I jumped in front of the like
That's how you
escalated.
got that thing in your eye.
Yeah,
That
so
white
the
mark.
escalated. Man, as soon as she cocked the motherfucker, you did part of the stick, went in front, and hit me clean in my eye.
Yeah, you almost got your eye put out.
And
You're
then
never
she was with
supposed
this
to jump.
motherfucker. She went back to this motherfucker.
Yes, that's why you don't jump in domestic violence
Man.
relationships, because they leave 10 times before they leave for real.
So you know, like, I don't be like on some, you know, domestic shit, but we'll always get through things that if we have issues besides the domestic shit, you know what I'm saying? You got any last final thoughts for your mind before we leave this podcast?
My final thought is, if you're in a domestic violence relationship, tell someone. Don't keep it a secret, because oftentimes we keep it a secret and we don't tell anyone. We want other people to think we're in this picture perfect relationship, but on the inside we're crying out for help. So tell someone. Find your local centers where they house people who dealing with domestic violence and get help.
And that's all we got for y'all. Episode 15. You know what I'm saying, you dig? Tune in to episode 16 with Gippie and Glow, you know what I'm saying, you dig? And that's all we got for you from the Green Room with Gippie Lee. And I'm your host who does the most, Gipstar, a.k.a. Gippie, a.k.a. Mojo, a.k.a. call me what you want, just don't call me collect. And
I'm your co-host, Goddess Body, Glow the Hottie.
oh, she
Come
said it
see me at
wrong.
Oakwood Mall.
She said it wrong.
Wait.
She said it wrong, man. My co-host right here, you know what I'm saying? GlowMiller the Hottie, aka CEO of Goddess Body. You know what I'm saying? And that's all we have for y'all. I want y'all holler.
Holla.
Sweep it up like a broom, the elephants in the room. Feeling like MJ, I walk it out on the moon. These boys faster than Zoom, I'm floating like a balloon. From the womb to the tomb, I'm repping the green room, yeah.